A fascinating new documentary to tell you about. My next guest taking a look at the decline of manufacturing in America, its impact on the economy.
How often do we really think about all the different elements that go into making a baseball game? Just how American is America's pastime these days? The truth is, in an increasingly global economy, it takes manufacturers from all over the world to make the things necessary to have a baseball game.
Are you kidding me? America's pastime? We're globally dependent? Joining me now, the writer and producer of the American-made movie, Vincent Vittorio. Good to have you with us.
Oh, thanks so much for having me.
I love the idea that we couldn't play baseball in this country without a whole bunch of folks all around the world. You got to be kidding.
Well, you know, we live in a different world now where so many of the parts come from so many different places to where it's not just one product from one country, so to speak.
Well, not one product from one country, but I mean, we're talking about offshoring, we're talking about outsourcing, we're talking about rather than comparative advantage, which is typically, idealistically and ideally, what should be going on. A country that can produce the best at the cheapest price prevails. But that isn't really what's happening, is it?
Well, you know, we used to be known as the country that made these superior products. You know, we were it. You look at World War II, and there wasn't any competition. But now the playing field has changed, and we have to compete with these other countries, and we're taking into effect with, you know, labor costs and, you know, the strength of our dollar and the way in which we have these competing forces.
So, you know, we just went through this thing with General Motors. We find out that just about 70% of the parts are made somewhere else. I mean, I'm not quite sure I understand how that works. Help me out. Why are we producing so much overseas? I understand that China is a big market, so build a plant there and sell into the market. I get that. But what about our middle class? What about our working men and women in this country who need to be making a living wage and supporting their families and building a future?
Well, you know, the movie American-Made Movie really takes a look at how we as consumers can take an invested interest in this. Because, you know, we've seen Democrats and Republicans all talk about bringing back manufacturing. It sounds good, but at the end of the day, there's no action. And so what we do with this film is really show consumers how they can take an invested interest in their local economy, their state economy, or this country to bring things back.
And to create jobs for a middle class that's getting its butt kicked. I mean, we are watching this middle class in this country just get slapped around. And they don't have an advocate in the Democratic Party. They don't have an advocate in the Republican Party. Do you think that'll change?
You know, I'm hopeful. I think it will. I think that really it goes back to the consumer, because we are all a part of this.
Sure,
it's not just our votes.
Going for the cheapest price, whether it's made in Romania, China, Russia, wherever it may be, and not focusing on quality, not willing to pay that extra 10 cents or $1.
Well, it's also about the brand. You know, like that Made in America brand is becoming sexy. LeBron James gets paid millions of dollars to support a shoe company when people can just employ Americans to make things in this country, and they get that label, and that's going to make people feel more behind that product to say, I want to support people because it's about jobs.
Well, this movie about Made in America and about jobs, as you say, it makes it compelling viewing for all of us. How do people see it? What is the best way to watch the American-Made movie?
Well, April 1st, it opened up on demand, so people can go to their on-demand button on their dish or TV.
Cable systems?
Cable systems.
Dish, DirecTV.
Yes, and they can find it that way, or go to the website, theamericanmademovie.com, and it has more info about other ways.
And we've got it up on the screen right there, theamericanmademovie.com. Vincent Vittorio, thanks. Good luck with the movie.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you being here. Come back. Available on demand.